when I was offered this role on Pop Idol, which was the precursor to American Idol, it meant that I could take all the live shows that I'd done, all the sort of documentary stuff that I'd done, put them together, and then that made the show. So that was the show that changed my life, set me on course, and brought me to this very table.
Wow. And that one made Britain, or that made, American Idol?
That was Pop Idol.
Pop Idol.
Pop Idol was the very first.
Okay.
And we didn't know what it was going to be like. We thought it might be a hit.
Yeah.
But it grew and it caught on. And it caught fire. The whole country was obsessed when it was down to 2 people, Will and Gareth.
Wow.
And it was nice to see the effects of fame, of instant fame on someone, and see how they could handle it or how they couldn't, and that kind of thing. And the one thing I noticed was how people would touch a famous person. They needed that, like, okay, I've got it. I've made some contact. It's like proving that they're, well, you'll know. You have people all the time.
I've seen a lot of, not necessarily just with myself in any way, but it sounds
I have some stories from
being I'll let you say because I would sound like an a-hole if I say I feel like it's not me. But you do see that all the time when you're at a premiere. There's a bunch of big celebrities around or out in public with people who are big celebrities, and they just everyone's turning their heads and taking pictures and trying to sneak stuff and everything. But
it's interesting you say that because we're at a festival or something, a music festival or something, and I would say the most common thing people ask for is like a hug. From Brock, right? It's like they want a picture. They want to. There is like, it's not like creepy or weird. It's just like a human thing.
Yeah, it's that connection. If you can actually touch them, they're physically there, and you have this theory that he or she is going to remember me, and of course, in 2 seconds, it's gone. But it was interesting to see just a normal person who's then the most famous person in the country overnight, and to travel with them and look at what. Whether they could handle it. And some people can, some people can't. And that was the same in the American show as well. You can see someone who is like a waitress one day and then they're the most famous person in the country. It's can you handle it mentally up there?
It's like a sociological experiment almost, right? Like you get firsthand witness of,
It's like seeing the show business in a little microcosm. It's like you've got a career that would be like 30 years long. And you can condense it into like a week, and it's intense. Yeah. So being able to see people go through that and seeing how they change into either an a-hole, which happens.
It does happen.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Or whether they are humble enough to realize, okay, this is going to last 6-7 months tops. I better enjoy it and, make the most of it and be nice.
Yeah. But even if it lasts longer, I met this guy on this last film that I just did, and he does security detail. And he was saying he works with some of the highest level people, and some of these people that have he said he almost calls it like a God complex. They're so used to getting whatever they want, whenever they want, and they have all the money in the world, and they become it's a different kind of breed, a different human. They show up differently in the world, and it's not something that is attractive to me anyways, and I think a lot of people,
and they're not necessarily happier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a different level of issues.
Yeah.
Well, I think the ego, right? Like the ego is never satisfied, and that's what people don't understand. So if it's always, what am I doing? Me, like it's an insatiable appetite of ego that will never be satisfied.
And you put them around a table, which I've been at lots of tables. I've been lucky enough to sit with these, very famous people in their lunch breaks, and they're all talking about the same thing, which is possessions.
Yeah.
And it's never enough. Like, is it a plane? Well, I've got one of these. I've got one of these. And then it's recognition and money. And it's like, you're constantly striving for something.
Yeah.
What is it about this that is filling a hole in you? So I stood up and pointed at them and shamed them and said, I don't want your life. You people are awful. Anyway, let's get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like in our fraternity, when you're pledging, they're like, there's always someone with more money than you or someone better looking than you. And they just teach you this like humbling, like, that's life.
Yeah.
Get used to it now. So like, anyway.
Yeah, it's true. You just have to be happy with who you are.
Totally.
And if you have $10, $15 million in the bank as a result of it, it's easier to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there any traits you saw in people that handled the fame better than others? You know, like was there anything that stood out?
You could tell if it was a contestant, you could tell their trajectory as to what they were going to be like as to when the sunglasses came out. And when they start coming in to rehearsals and they have sunglasses and a scarf, I think, oh God.
What's happening?
Because I have to look after my voice and I have to have lemon water. And I want to go, no, you're going to get kicked off tonight. I know it because I can feel how the audience is going to feel. So take the scarf.
Yeah.
Be a twat.
Yeah. I think what people really want to see is authenticity, you know, and someone being unique and sticking to their truth, you know.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think that's a lot of the reason why, say, Kelly was one of the first. Well, she was the first one because people related to her. There was no artifice. She was who she was. Mm-hmm. She was a waitress from Dallas, and everybody bought into this sort of Cinderella story.
Yeah.
And audiences are more sophisticated. As the years go on, they can smell when they're being manipulated.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny now, too, because every celebrity, their opinions are all over the internet now. And like some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
And it's like people, they just want that authenticity. Yeah. It's like it's almost, you can see behind the curtain nowadays more than ever. So like if people aren't being real, you know, like you said, audiences are smarter and more adaptable to that.
But do they have anyone to stop them tweeting in the middle of the night? And can you take a tweet back?
Not really. I feel like once it's on the internet, it's there.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah, people screenshot it and database it. And like,
it's always somewhere.
I mean, who at this table has not said something that think, oh, I shouldn't have said that? 15, 20 times a day for me. But if you're...
It's never happened to me. I don't know.
You're a celebrity. You put it down, you know, and then it's out there.
Yeah. If you can't leave it there for about 20 minutes and come back to it and still want to send it, you probably shouldn't send it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you should. It's like a cooling off period. If you're buying a gun, then come back in 2 days, sir.
Yeah.
They should have. You should have a breathalyzer on a phone, so that if you want to send a tweet, you've got to blow into. If you've had a couple of drinks, you have to blow into the phone, and if the breathalyzer says no, the tweet doesn't go. So you heard that here. It's not a bad idea, right?
That's not
what about a 2-factor authentication? Like, when you have to enter the code that's texted to you, but it goes to someone else, so they have to approve your tweet?
Yep.
That'd be kind of good.
This is a 2.3 out of 10 stars. We need to reevaluate.
I'm sure that's going to be a breeze to put into place. People love being censored.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That doesn't happen much, does it?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.